CBS News spoke with 3 of George Floyd's family members who live in Houston.
We've been overwhelmed with the amount of support that we've seen from people out protesting, and I'm really surprised to see that, but we're happy for that. What I want to know, I appreciate them doing that because this gives him a voice, and it brings awareness.
One thing that you can't quite get the full picture of is just how much graffiti there is here in this South Minneapolis neighborhood. I met a man just a moment ago whose job is actually to clean up Metro Transit bus stops. He says he's been doing this for 16 years. He has never seen a day quite like today. John?
Yeah, another day of protests out there. All right, thank you, Christiane.
Jimmy Fallon and Ellen DeGeneres are both speaking out for the first time on camera about the George Floyd protests. Don Lemon called out Ellen this weekend for not speaking publicly about it up to that point.
Yeah, and Jimmy Fallon had his first show back in a week last night, so he also had to address how he went viral last week when people rediscovered he did blackface on SNL in the year 2000. So both recognize the sentiment that silence isn't the answer.
A story came out about me on SNL doing an impression of Chris Rock in blackface, and I was horrified. Not at the fact that people were trying to cancel me or cancel the show, which is scary enough, but the thing that haunted me the most was, how do I say, I love this person? I respect this guy more than I respect most humans. I'm not a racist. I don't feel this way. And instead, what I kept getting advised was to just stay quiet and to not say anything. And that's the advice because we're all afraid. And I took it for a minute. I took the advice and I thought, oh God, I'm going to do this wrong. You're right. I'm going to say something and get myself into even more trouble. I'm going to make this worse. I don't know what to do. So I thought about it and I realized that I can't not say I'm horrified and I'm sorry and I'm embarrassed. And what that small gesture did for me was break my own silence. And what then I started to do was talk to some experts, some of which are here tonight and this week, and I realized that the silence is the biggest crime that white guys like me and the rest of us are doing. Staying silent. We need to say something. We need to keep saying something. And we need to stop saying that's not okay more than just one day on Twitter.
I haven't spoken directly because I don't know what to say. I am so sad and I am so angry, and I know I'm not going to say the right thing. I know that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be in disagreement with what I say, but I have a platform and I have a voice, and I have always stood for equality. I have always wanted to be the voice for people who felt like they didn't have a voice, because I know what that feels like. I really don't know what to say other than this has gone on way, 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 way too long. People have gotten away with murder, and that's what's happening. So we've got to see fairness and we've got to see justice for all, because right now this is not a fair world. Not at all. And let's send a whole bunch of love out there and try to find some peace and some communication in this.
Yeah, so Visario says, Jimmy, you're a nice man with a good heart. Ellen cares and we love her for that. Lisa says, his comments were fine, but talking on the internet is not changed. And that's a little bit of a sentiment out there too. Like Jamie Foxx said that at a protest yesterday, like he called out celebrities to actually be out there on the street. And of course, we talked about it yesterday, Don Lemon talking about the celebrities as well. But I appreciate that both of them had that sentiment of, we're not going to get this right, but we're trying to speak out and say something. And granted, I'm not going to be the white guy that sits there and says, yeah, everything that they said that is right. I don't know if what they said is really the right way to do it, but at least I appreciate that they're trying.
Yeah, and I think that the difficult thing for Jimmy Fallon is that that he doesn't take this stuff well. He was very
Right.
public of, when he was accused of going soft on Trump when Trump was on a show during the election campaign where he mussed his hair, and that did damage. The backlash of that did damage. So he doesn't like this, and he doesn't do well with it. It's not who he is. He's the nice guy. And, the one thing that I will say is that, behind closed doors, these conversations that do happen of, what do you say? Do you not say anything? You already sent out the tweet. You already
Right.
apologized. Do you apologize again? Do you do something on the show? Who do you have on the show? These are all conversations where people just try and they're just managing the sort of chaos. And, I think that, what Jimmy did was, made the decision himself that this is what felt right to him. And you do run the risk. And just like, what Ellen was saying, I think that the fear for a lot of people is, you come out and say something, anything, and then you are hit with nobody wants to hear from you. And I think that that's a difficult position for somebody like Ellen, where your brand is nice and you don't want to be the person who says the wrong thing, even though inside you may be dying to just say anything, to just try and make something right, to make a connection, but you just don't want to make a misstep. And these people are surrounded by organizations of people who try and manage that for them. But I like what Jimmy did. It sounded like it was from the heart, and it sounded like he was advised to not say what he did, and he said it anyway.
Right. Dexter says Jimmy did a racist accent, but I don't think he is racist. Cheryl says, I saw both Jimmy and Ellen. I believe Jimmy didn't speak up because he was told not to. And yeah, he does say that. Good for Jimmy and Ellen for speaking out now. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about this kind of idea before, that sometimes you just can't win. Like, yeah, someone's going to have a problem with whatever you say. But yeah, I think the whole idea with this whole movement now is, some people have, it really is the idea of silence is compliance. So you really do need to speak up, and the people with the platforms do need to say something. And yeah, we'll see how far that goes. Because yeah, Jamie Foxx is saying people know you need to be out here on the street. We'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, at least this is baby steps. So we have these people that really have these big platforms and are speaking out. And yeah, Jimmy Fallon was in a very tough place because yeah, obviously the blackface had been resurfaced. I think it was like right before George Floyd was killed. I think it was over that weekend that Jimmy Fallon that resurfaced. And yeah, of course he was off all last week. So yeah, he was really in a tough place. They had to address both those things. But yeah, I'm happy that they did.
Yeah, and I know that Kimmel also, did a heartfelt monologue. But as far as I know, Kimmel hasn't, addressed publicly again during this his portrayal of Karl Malone all those years ago, which is very much in the same conversation as Jimmy Fallon. So it is it's a very real thing, and how you react. I think that it needs to be less spin and more from the heart, like what Jimmy had done.
Yeah, Cloverleaf says people need to stop putting pressure on these celebrities too. They are humans, but I think that's nice, like how they're doing it. They're just sitting there talking for several minutes. It's not completely obviously Jimmy Fallon. He was reading what he was going to say, but at least it's very heartfelt, and they are showing their humanity. It's not this really forced skit. So it's nice to see them doing it.
I woke up literally teary, looking at all of the unrest around the country. I know it's been a difficult week for all of us.
Oprah Winfrey is speaking out. The famed talk show host recently spoke with her best friend, Gayle King, on WW Presents Oprah's Your Life in Focus, a Vision Forward live virtual experience, where they spoke out about the killing of George Floyd and their reaction to the tragedy.
I was shocked by the first video. I mean, the first, because you're the one who sent me the video at first, because you're like, have you seen it? I said, oh, I've heard about it. And you said, no, you have to see it. So I was shocked when I literally was just like stunned, because you can't believe you're watching. It's like someone being choked to death in front of you, and you see the life seeping from him. So you're shocked by that. And then when I saw the video from the other angle of the two police officers holding him down at the same time that he is being choked to death, I that's the one that sent me all the way over.
Gayle also revealed she had a hard time holding her emotions back while on air on CBS This Morning.
I was trying very hard, because we are CBS, just the facts, nothing but the facts, ma'am. You don't show emotion. We're not there. People don't want to hear your opinion. I get that. And I wasn't trying to do that. But that story, coupled with the Central Park lady story, they were both in the same broadcast, very close together.
Yeah, they were back to back.
Preceded by Ahmaud Arbery the week before that. I mean, we've almost moved on from Ahmaud Arbery. How about that? That was a big story. We've almost moved on from that. And then we're just going to go on to something else. And I just said, this is just too much.
Oprah also revealed that her longtime partner, Stedman Graham, has been racially profiled.
I do not know a Black man, period, including Stedman Graham, who has not been profiled. I do not know a Black man who has not been stopped at some point, including.
It has been the honor of my life to serve you. I won't stop. In fact, I will be right there with you as a citizen for all my remaining days. You were the change. You answered people's hopes. And because of you, by almost every measure, America is a better, stronger place than it was when we started. Hope's the better choice. Hope is what gives us courage. Because it's up to all of us to make sure our government